Today I'll be taking a look at the Age of Apocalypse Colossus Builder-Figure. Now this figure of course is the Builder-Figure for Wave 2 of the Age of Apocalypse figures from Marvel Legends. And in order to build him, you had to buy 6 of the 7 figures in this wave. The one figure you didn't have to purchase was the Magneto. Now, as some of you who've seen my other videos will know, I can be a little bit skeptical when it comes to the Builder-Figure model. Very often you're forced to buy a number of figures in a wave that you may not be that into in order to build a pretty cool Builder-Figure. This is pretty clever strategy on Hasbro's part, and it pretty much guarantees that all the figures in a wave are gonna sell, so long as there's a cool Builder-Figure at the end of it. But I think here, the Builder-Figure is really useful because as the entire wave is themed around the Age of Apocalypse, you're either going to be into this collection or not, in which case you're probably going to get all of them or none of them. And the Builder-Figure model here works perfectly because not only are you getting all the figures that you want in this wave, but you're getting something extra now for your money. So this then becomes a lot more appealing to me, and also the average price comes down because if we think that we're spending all this money on 6 figures, but we're actually getting 7 for that money, well then suddenly this feels a lot more affordable and fair. So naturally, he is an oversized figure, and he is very impressive, I have to say. He's tall, he's broad, and he's quite imposing, and I think the overall presentation is pretty solid. It can be a little tricky when it comes to how accurate a likeness is when it's a comic book character, because there's that many interpretations. I think the main artist on this series where Colossus features was Chris Pacheco, and I think his style is quite hard to replicate in toy form. But I think they've done a really good job of taking the design of this character and putting him into action figure form. We've had a couple of Colossus figures across the years, but this is the first time that we've seen some of his torso exposed there, to see all those rivets and metal piping. And I have to say, I absolutely love the head sculpt, I love that snarling expression there. This isn't something we'd normally associate with Colossus, so I think it's really cool that they've captured this here. Plus, I'm really pleased that they've been very careful with the extra shoulder pads and the straps and things like that. These are separate pieces, they're not moulded into the figure, which is really good. They're quite flexible, so they work with the articulation. But there is one small downside, and it is a problem that ran through pretty much the entire wave, to be fair, is the real lack of paint washes and application of that paint running throughout the figure, just to highlight the excellent sculpt, because the sculpt is brilliant, it's got all the detailing in there. What we need now is a wash to go over these and just really accentuate these details, but sadly it's just not there, so you're left with bright plastic pieces that just look unfinished, a bit cheap and a bit plastic. Now then, the articulation. Well, he has the ball jointed head, so of course he can spin from side to side, and he can look up and down as well, and it's a pretty good distance, I have to say. This is pretty excellent. He does obviously have the plastic piece coming out the back of the bandana there, but it is no hindrance whatsoever, it's very flexible. He's got the ball jointed shoulders, he's got the bicep swivel, and he's got, quite surprisingly, double jointed elbows. This is kind of unusual for a bigger build figure like this, so this is fantastic. He's also got the pin swivel at the wrist there, so of course it spins round and it arcs backwards and forwards as well, which is great. Again, no hindrance there from the mould of the gauntlet at all, which is brilliant. Yes, he's got a swivel at the waist and he's got the ab crunch as well. Now, as I'm doing this, you'll notice the one flaw in this figure, and that is, of course, that his plastic pieces, although flexible, will pop out of place because they are held together with a little clip at the front there where the X logo is. Now, this is great because it does just pop in and out, so it will allow you to pose in whatever position you want and then clip it back in, but as you're doing it, do expect it to pop out quite frequently. His legs kick out to the side. He's also got the upper thigh swivel at the top there, which is great. And of course his legs kick forwards and they kick back a little bit as well, which is pretty cool. Now he's got the double jointed knees as well. Sadly there is no boot swivel, there's nothing else in the leg there, which is a shame, but he does have the ankle pivot, which means of course that his foot can arc upwards and downwards and swivel from side to side, so plenty of posability here, although mine is a little bit stiff, but that's just because it's brand new. Another surprise is he actually does come with alternative closed fists. This is pretty unusual to have any kind of extras when it comes to a builder figure, so I'm really glad they've thrown this in. This is excellent. And for anyone who's wondering about the scale, how he stands with other figures, well, here he is with the Wolverine from the previous Age of Apocalypse wave of Marvel Legends. As you can see, there's a huge height difference here. Wolverine's obviously smaller than the average Marvel Legends, and Colossus is significantly bigger, and this looks really good. Here he is now with the Wave 2 Magneto, and again, as you can see, this is a good height variance. I mean, Colossus seems almost too large here, but I think this is accurate and it looks great. And here he is, of course, with the Sabretooth from this second wave. Now, Sabretooth is a bit bigger than normal. He's using that body that we've seen on, say, figures like Cyber, for example. And you can see that Colossus here just edges him out. He's just a bit broader, a bit taller. And here he is with the recent deluxe Maestro Hulk figure. So here we can see that Maestro the Hulk is taller than Colossus. He is broader again. This is pretty much spot on. I would expect this. It would look wrong if Colossus was the same height and the same breadth. That just wouldn't look good. So this is fantastic. So I think the scaling here is pretty fantastic. This scales really well with all the Marvel Legends at different heights in this line. So then, in conclusion, for me, it's a 4-star figure. This is a really good builder figure. He's solid, he's quite tall, he's bigger than your average figure, but he's not huge, he's not on the same scale as the Hulk, which is entirely appropriate, but, you know, a good enough contender to be a builder figure. I think his design is great, I think the execution is really, really good, I think the sculpt is absolutely brilliant, and obviously his articulation is really solid. So why the missing star? Well, for me that comes down to a couple of things. First of all, it's the paint washes. I really would like to see the paint wash on this figure because there's so much detail here which is fantastic. A little bit of shading here and there would just really make this figure pop and just take it over the edge. The other drawback for me, honestly, is the clip-on belt piece, which is just a little bit frustrating because it wants to pop out all the time. Like, it just keeps unclipping and you have to force it back in. It's not a huge problem at all, but it is still a little bit frustrating having to deal with that. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and remember to subscribe as there'll be plenty more videos soon.